less than 4 minutes, Tel Aviv, the coastline. These are the hair-trigger margins with which we live.
Relay what we just saw to the model over here.
Okay. What you've just seen is an enemy pilot coming from the east. And what he did was he flew low. So he came down very close to the ground where it's very hard to see. And then he came up through these crevasses to Jerusalem. And then he swung over from Jerusalem, down the crevasses, and went right over Lod Airport. And then, right from Lod, he went right into Tel Aviv. Now, this brings up an extremely important element of the model, which is the airspace of Israel. Now, when I was in Israel about 2 years ago, I was lucky enough to hear a current Israeli general speak. And he was talking to all of us, and he said, don't be fooled. One thing that there's a consensus on in Israel is in any type of peace agreement, Israel has to maintain absolute air supremacy over the entire West Bank. And he was a current general. So what I've done is I've created a simple graphic illustration which communicates the power of airspace, the airspace being if Israel had the airspace or if Israel didn't have the airspace. Now what I do to show this...
Stole your little brother's plane.
Stole my little brother's planes. Now, assuming, the best way to understand is at the moment Israel has this airspace over here. So, as was just shown on the clip, an attacking plane would be coming from the east. Now, right now, Israel has air bases. Some of its major air bases are right in this northern area here. So, if there's an attack from the east, what happens is Israel is able to have a plane come up, and the battle would be over the West Bank. Israel would be able to intercept the plane over the West Bank. And therefore stop it before it gets to Tel Aviv, and Lod, and Jerusalem, and Netanya, and this whole segment here, which this segment from right here to right here represents 70% of Israel's population. This is the crown jewel of Israel, right in this area right here. So remember, with the airspace, Israel is able to meet a fighter over the West Bank, not terribly far, but far enough away from Israel's civilian population centers.
But Mark, with modern technology, modern weaponry, the way it is all of this strategic planning a waste of time?
I wanted to show you what the airspace of Israel would be without it, and then you could make up your mind whether it's a waste of time. This is what the airspace of Israel would look like after you take the airspace of Israel out. You take the airspace of the West Bank out. All of a sudden, you've bifurcated Israel's air bases here from Israel's population centers here. So an attacking plane would have a much, much more easy time to attack because Israel's plane could not go into the West Bank to meet an attack. You've gone into sovereign airspace. You're going to have Hanan Ashrawi in the UN complaining that Israel violated the Palestinian airspace. Or even yet, and it brings home the exact question you just asked, with technology the way it is today. With technology the way it is today, there would be an air defense system here which would make this look like a Sunday lunch compared to what Israel would really have to face. With modern technology and modern anti-aircraft weapons the way they are, this would even be more gruesome to an Israeli pilot trying to fend off an attack from the east. So the technology...
Mark, we have about a minute left. I'm sure that many viewers are saying this is a great model, but where did you get all your information? Because you are quite sure about all the information that you're telling us. We're very sure in everything you're saying.
Excellent question. Everything I have shown you so far, I have brought to the Israeli government, and they, I'm not saying they've approved it, but they certainly didn't say it was wrong. I showed senior Israeli defense officials. They have, in fact, said, I'm not going to give names, but they have said that my airspace curtain is accurate. And I would love to have someone come and dispute these simple graphic illustrations.
So call in schmoozing, and you can dispute with Mark if you'd like. Mark, thanks for joining us. Mark Langfan and
Thank you very much.
his map, his model of North.